Could the Liberal and National Party challenge Clive Palmer's win in the electorate of Fairfax?
Well, I think with these election outcomes that are close, often they do go to the Court of Disputed Returns. That's really a decision for the party and for the people that were involved with the Fairfax campaign. From my perspective, Clive is now a neighbouring MP. I think we sort of have to accept that result. I think the people voted for him did not necessarily expect Clive Palmer to be elected, and he might not turn out to be a great sort of local MP. But I think that we have to accept the political reality that Clive is a member of the federal parliament, and I hope he gives good representation to his constituency. I'm just not convinced that he will.
When you say you're not convinced that he will, what does he lack? What do you see that tells you, gee, I don't think that's a good local MP there?
Yeah, well, ultimately, politics should be about how you change other people's lives for the better, not your own. And I've never seen, Clive is an individual who's clearly pretty self-interested. I think there are some pretty serious questions about that. He loves being in front of a TV camera, and all politicians do that to some extent. But all I would say to Mr. Palmer is that, his term in Parliament should be about the results that he can deliver for his electorate. And he has to make a decision about whether that's what he wants to do, or he wants to pursue this sort of almost clown-like approach to politics.
Is he a clown?
Well, I hope that underneath there is a very serious Clive. Who knows? I think, if Clive is serious, there are some policy ideas, and certainly on economic and business policy, if he wants to have a serious chat, he should be doing that. I think he has a tendency for significant overreach, and he doesn't do himself any sort of favours in that sense. So Clive really has to decide, does he want to be a novelty in the Parliament, or does he want to use his opportunity to be somebody a bit more like Don Chip or something like that? And let's wait and see what he does. But if I'm talking to him, he has an amazing ability to do really some good things for his electorate and for the country, and he's going to do that by having serious discussions with people. I'm just not convinced that that's what's going to happen.
Should he have a look at Don Chip's history and Don Chip's method, perhaps?
Well, far be it from me to give political advice to other political operators and MPs and political parties. But,
why not? You've been in Parliament longer than he has, Wyatt. So
I'm an old man, Tim. I'm like some sort of weird political veteran now, I guess. I don't know. I do think that if you look at Clive's party and the role, maybe that Don Chip sort of example is probably a good thing. And if I look at why people probably voted for Clive, I think that they are disenfranchised somewhat by the political system. I think the last Parliament was particularly difficult, and it was quite a large protest vote. And I don't think people voted for him expecting him to have this sort of result. So if he wants to sort of uphold some sort of connection with the reasons why people voted for him, he should probably adopt a more Don Chip sort of very serious policy sort of approach, not a antics and looking for an opportunistic sort of approach to politics. But that's a decision for him, not for me.